So please welcome our panel this morning. I couldn't be more pleased. And this is part of the fun part of being a part of the Semiconductor Task Force. I get to meet some of the state's most wonderful and impactful leaders. Dr. Adrien Bennings, we have Robert Camarillo, and we have Sue Richards. So thank you very much for joining us today. One of the things you'll notice about this panel is that widely diverse views and widely diverse areas that they're representing. But there's a real commonality around the sense of urgency and magnitude and impact that we can have with expanding our semiconductor and advanced manufacturing workforce and capability across the state. So with that, let me start with Sue Richards. She is the global head of print microfluidics, technology and operations for HP. And just as a reminder, HP is about a Fortune 19 company. So she's seeing things across the country and across the globe with regards to advanced manufacturing and technologies. So Sue, what are you thinking of in terms of your work and the Semiconductor Task Force, the impact you had leading the university and industry partnership, as well as what does this mean for you and then also for HP and others as an example?
Thank you. So first of all, this is really a once-in-a-generation, once-in-a-lifetime opportunity that our own senator and president have brought to us this year, and hopefully it won't be the last. What we've seen across the world is that many countries are investing to really advance this sector, and this is our opportunity to hopefully take a first step in doing this in a multi-year approach. Our critical piece, as we understand, for the semiconductor industry, essentially it is on track to become $1 trillion industry by 2030, which means that for Oregon, we have been a leader for many, many years in this industry, as Senator Wyden said, it was Silicon Forest, and this is something that is a key part of Oregon's innovation engine, really driving our economic security, really driving our national security as a country, and a critical part of where we need to drive innovation, we need to drive R&D and manufacturing, and really creating those critical jobs for the future of our Oregonians. With the investments that are being made, these are long-term infrastructure investments that take a lot of infrastructure, take a lot of land and building, and they become multi-generational investments where we create jobs for many, many years. Within HP, Bill and Dave, our founders, set up our site in Corvallis because of the proximity to Oregon State University, because of the availability of amazing community colleges to bring these jobs with tremendous economic mobility to the central Willamette Valley. Not only because the amazing place to live that Oregon is, but the ability to have that adjacency to education, to research, and to really drive innovation for the state. So it's really a great opportunity for us at HP. We are looking at how do we continue to invest and advance our technology platforms on behalf of our company and really drive those sorts of jobs for the long term for Oregon.
Thank you, Sue, and thank you so much for bringing that beyond Portland, Willamette Valley perspective to all of this work. Your partnership with Provost Ed Fazer was just absolutely terrific and really helped us think more broadly and statewide during the task force, so thank you. Let me now talk about Dr. Adrien Bennings. Thank you so much for being here, and thank you for your leadership at Portland Community College and the entire system. You're the first female leader of PCC, and I think it was early on in your tenure. It was early on in your tenure when we were fortunate to be able to go to your Willow Creek campus and to announce the task force findings as really take things to the next level and launch things in August. A leader of your capability and experience, we're really fortunate to have in Oregon, so thank you. When you think of the advanced manufacturing ecosystem, how does it fit in with community college education and workforce development in general?
Right. Great question. Well, I'm honored to be here and just glad to be a part of this discussion. And really moving the needle for Portland, but also bringing us together collaboratively in this realm of semiconductor work and the industry itself. And so I take it back to when you talk about the role of education in this realm, I take it back to the tenets of the plan. You know, does it grow wages, right? Does it increase economic mobility? Does it increase household wealth? And how do we, working together in this realm, also increase the opportunity for people to advance in the workplace in the semiconductor industry? And so education, I would say, is core and essential. And when you think of, you know, community colleges, it's the community's college. And it's not just something where people just go to learn and get a degree, but there's training, there's adult basic learning, there's educational opportunities that fit perfectly within this picture that we're trying to accomplish together. And I think that we're at the prime opportunity, and I stepped into this role leading Portland Community College as the largest post-secondary institution in the state. We serve over 50,000 students, and that's a lot right there. But stepping into this role is how can we, in addition to the students that we serve, also serve the community and be a partner in terms of this work. And the Semiconductor Task Force really strives to increase the awareness of the semiconductor industry as well as the connection to the education pathways. And so this was a prime spot, and I'm just so glad to have stepped into this role at this juncture at Portland Community College. And so I'll share just a couple tidbits in terms of how we fit within this picture as one of the 17 community colleges. But one of the things that we've done is partner with Intel for our microelectronics program, right? And this has been in place for over 30 years. And the beautiful thing about this is that we boast over a 95% placement rate of students into the workforce. That's amazing, right? And so you can't work alone and you can't work in silos, and it takes community, industry, and education working together to accomplish the greater purposes and plans that we're here to serve. Another new and interesting thing that we've done in this realm, and this is how education fits into the semiconductor industry work, is the Quick Start program. And we just launched that October 22 this year, just a couple months ago. And this is also in partnership with Intel, but also Work Systems, Inc. And this is a 2-week program. We provide students with a $500 stipend, but they get exposure to the industry that if this program had not been there or created or developed in partnership, you know, that exposure would go lacking. And so we're trying to create the awareness, build upon the programs that we have in place, but also recognizing that our focus is equitable student success and knowing that there are disparities in terms of Black, Hispanic, and Native populations. How can we advance, you know, the opportunities for this shared prosperity, you know, beyond one group and make it available to all, but also disparities in terms of gender. The female representation in the semiconductor industry is lacking, and we're focused on that by really intentionally connecting with community partners, cultural groups, communities of color, to really show here's the opportunity, and there's value in this for you, and there's a shared vision for us to work together, but also to create prosperity for everyone. And so those are just a couple of things that Portland Community College is doing, and I can say that's great, but that's not enough, right? And so there yet remains an opportunity for us to be more intentionally aligned in terms of our realms beyond education, connecting to the business industry, connecting to partners in the room, connecting to partners across the state, to not only continue the work that we're doing, but also to put Portland on the map in ways that we've not seen before, not just nationally, but globally. And we can only accomplish that by working together. And if you've ever seen me speak, I always say, one together, together one. PCC is just one institution. I'm just one individual. We're only individuals in the room. But collectively, we can push this needle forward to accomplish some greater things for shared prosperity.
Thank you. I would also say for the audience, I've had the opportunity to be with Dr. Bennings with some of her students who are first generation college students, first generation to this country. And the programs that she is talking about are truly life-changing, family-changing, and community-changing. So thank you for your leadership. Next, it's my great pleasure to introduce Robert Camarillo. Robert is a remarkable individual for the representation he has and the number of construction and really good paying, consistent jobs across our state. Robert is the secretary of the Oregon State Building and Construction Trades Council. One of the things on a personal note, Robert, I really want to express, we all talk about now coming back to the office, coming back to work. Your folks and you never left. And through the darkest days of the pandemic, particularly early on and all of the uncertainty that we had, it was your folks that kept our economy moving. Whether it was Mod 3 at Intel, whether it was the Portland Airport and the huge expansion that they've done, or whether it was PGE's wind, solar, and battery storage facility in Eastern Oregon, and so many other projects. Our state was unique in being able to continue important manufacturing and the change that was created during the pandemic and the stability that you showed through your leadership. So Robert, thank you. As you think about manufacturing and workforce and the implications for workforce across our entire state, can you give us some of your perspective of how all of this will really change your members and the entire state of Oregon?
Well, thank you, Maria. I appreciate it. You know, early on in the pandemic, we were able to pull together a group of leaders from business, labor, government, union, non-union, and formed a task force, a safety task force, construction safety task force to help keep the industry moving, prevent it from shutting down, keeping the workers safe. We were able to see a lot of success during that time. As you said, our folks don't get to work from home. They don't have that option to work from their living room or their bedroom. So that was never an issue for us. Our folks they adapted, and they continued to show up on the job and make sure that these projects continued to be built and be built safe, on time, and on budget. And so we're really proud of that. We're really proud of the work that we did with our business partners, our labor partners, all our unions, government agencies, and everyone that participated on this task force. We met weekly. We visited job sites. We identified best practices. And we got national recognition for the work that we did. A lot of states did shut down that industry, and we did not. There was a lot of folks that were grateful for that. So thank you for recognizing that work. For us, what this means is that we're able to continue to create family-sustaining careers across the state for folks that look like me and other workers of color, women, and continue to diversify the industry so that it looks like the fabric of the community where these projects are being built. You know, we partner with folks like Sue and her company, Intel, and we've been able to keep thousands of Oregonians working on these projects and on some of these wind and solar and battery storage facilities across the state in rural Oregon. And so we're really excited to be able to continue to create these opportunities, these career opportunities in this industry. And we have it was an honor to be on this task force. A lot of times our industry gets overlooked. We don't, a lot of times we're not part of these conversations. And so I really appreciated being part of this task force and making sure that the construction industry did not get overlooked, because these are very complex projects, right? They are not, I think somebody yesterday mentioned something about just, these aren't jobs where you just pound a nail in a board. No, these projects are very sophisticated, as Sue knows, that these are done in phases from, you know, building the shell to the tool install, very sophisticated. So our programs are, you know, 4 to 5 year programs. Apprentices graduate debt-free. They earn while they learn, and we're really proud of that. And so we look forward to continue to partner with folks like you, Maria, Sue, and Dr. Bennings, and continue to build those projects. So.
Well, thank you. Your work is foundational to what we all do. And I would also say the change and impact you have on so many Oregonians for family wage, good paying jobs. So thank you. Sue, can you just talk a little bit about next steps? We've concluded the Semiconductor Task Force, our 5 key areas of focus. What's next?
Yeah, so we're working on a comprehensive plan for those next steps. So the Department of Commerce releases essentially the CHIPS Act criteria in February. And what that means is we really need, as a state, to act with urgency to declare our state incentives and our commitment to really empowering and working with the companies that exist here in Oregon and attracting more companies to Oregon to really show that Oregon is all in. We are the Silicon Forest. It is our right to win. And we have to be able to quickly move to talk about what those state incentives are and how we're going to compete. This is where I think Senator Wyden said it, right? New York, Arizona, California, Texas, these are all the other states that are putting up very robust packages to attract industry and to be able to compete for those federal dollars. We, as Oregon, have the right to win just based on our history and based on the talent and the capability that exists in this state. And this is an area that we need to move quickly between now and February to really define those packages and get them through legislation.
Thank you. You know, I also want to recognize Senator Wyden and Governor Brown's leadership on the task force. There's a lot of work ahead, but one of the things that the governor has said to us continually for the past year is that there are 49 other states that want into the advantages that we have had in Oregon and the legacy that precedes us. And I can remember sitting in the audience just a year ago as we all had sort of a call to action around this issue and the competitiveness of semiconductor industry for our state and for its future. And given what we've heard from both Senator Merkley and Senator Wyden from our esteemed panel here today, I think there's no question that we're all in, that there's a sense of urgency. And those of us as business leaders and as elected officials, it's really our time to act and to get things done. So thank you very much for your time and all of your talented leadership. Thank you.
Thank you.